What if I told you that Panasonic is about to release a camera that could make both Sony and Canon nervous? The rumors about the Panasonic S1 Mark II have been swirling for months, but today, we're going to dive into some leaked specifications that suggest this might be the most versatile hybrid camera we've ever seen. Before we get into these game-changing features, make sure to hit that subscribe button and notification bell to stay updated on the latest camera news and reviews. In this video, we're going to explore everything we know about the Panasonic S1 Mark II, from its revolutionary 60-megapixel sensor to its groundbreaking autofocus system. And yes, that surprising price point that's going to make a lot of photographers rethink their next camera purchase. But first, let me tease something that might shock you. Panasonic may have finally solved their infamous autofocus issues, and if the rumors are true, they've done it in a way nobody expected. Let's start with what might be the most impressive feature of this camera: the sensor. According to our sources, Panasonic has equipped the S1 Mark II with a 60-megapixel full-frame backside illuminated CMOS sensor. Now, you might be thinking, do we really need that many megapixels? Well, let me break this down with some real-world scenarios that will show you exactly why this matters. Imagine you're a wedding photographer. The bride wants a wide shot of the entire ceremony venue, but later also wants a tight crop of just her and the groom. With 60 megapixels, you could crop into about 50% of the original image and still have a 30-megapixel photo. That's higher resolution than many professional cameras currently on the market. But let's take another scenario. You're shooting commercial real estate. With this sensor, you can capture an entire building facade in a single shot, then crop multiple perfectly detailed shots for different listing angles, all from that one image. Think about the time savings during a busy shooting day. And for landscape photographers, this sensor opens up even more possibilities. Imagine capturing the grand vista of a mountain range, but then being able to crop in tight on specific details like a distant waterfall or rock formation, all while maintaining enough resolution for large format prints. That's the kind of flexibility we're talking about here. But here's where things get really interesting. Panasonic hasn't just thrown more megapixels at us, they've completely redesigned the sensor's architecture. The new backside illuminated design means better light gathering capability, which leads to improved low-light performance. Let me give you a practical example of what this means. Picture yourself shooting an indoor event, like a concert or a dimly lit reception. With traditional sensors, you'd often have to push your ISO to 6,400 or even higher, resulting in noisy images. But based on the leaked specifications, this new sensor design could allow you to shoot at ISO 6,400 with the same noise levels you'd typically see at ISO 3,200 on current cameras. That's a full stop of improvement in real-world performance. The new Maestro 4 image processor isn't just an incremental upgrade, it's a complete reimagining of what's possible in a hybrid camera. With an 8GB buffer, you're looking at the ability to shoot up to 15 frames per second with continuous autofocus. Yes? Let me put that in perspective for you. Imagine you're shooting a basketball game. In just 1 second, you can capture 15 full-resolution 60-megapixel images. That's 900 megapixels of data per second. To understand how significant this is, think about a player going for a slam dunk. From the jump to the landing typically takes about 1 second. With this camera, you'll capture every nuance of that motion in incredible detail, and thanks to the large buffer, you can keep shooting for extended sequences without the camera slowing down. Remember those complaints about Panasonic's contrast-based autofocus? Well, the S1 Mark II is rumored to feature a hybrid autofocus system combining both phase detection and contrast autofocus. But there's a twist to this story that nobody saw coming, and it has everything to do with artificial intelligence. Let me explain why this is such a big deal. The neural network AF system in the S1 Mark II isn't just another marketing term. It represents a fundamental shift in how autofocus works. Let me explain exactly what this means for your real-world shooting. The system uses artificial intelligence to predict subject movement before it happens, analyzing patterns of motion in real time. Think of it like a chess player who can anticipate their opponent's next move, but doing this hundreds of times per second. Imagine you're photographing a soccer match. Traditional autofocus systems react to player movement, often resulting in slightly delayed focus, especially during unpredictable plays. But with this new system, something remarkable happens. When a player winds up for a kick, the AF system is already calculating their likely trajectory and preparing to track both the player and the ball. This means you can focus on composition while the camera handles the technical challenges of keeping your subject sharp. Or consider wildlife photography. When photographing birds in flight, timing is everything. The neural network AF doesn't just track the bird's current position. It analyzes flight patterns and predicts where the bird will be in the next fraction of a second. This could be the difference between capturing that perfect moment of a hawk, catching its prey, and missing it entirely. Based on the leaked specs, the system can even maintain focus when the subject temporarily passes behind obstacles, something that traditionally confuses most AF systems. Now, let's talk about what might be the most ambitious feature set of this camera: the video capabilities. The S1 Mark II offers 8K video recording, but there's much more to this story than just resolution. The camera can record 8K in ProRes format internally, and here's why this matters so much. Picture yourself shooting a commercial project. With internal ProRes recording, you're capturing 8K footage that's immediately ready for professional editing. No more time-consuming transcoding, no external recorders adding bulk to your rig. But here's where it gets really interesting. The camera offers what Panasonic calls dynamic range boost in video mode. Let me show you what this means in practical terms. Imagine shooting an interview next to a bright window. Traditionally, you'd either have to blow out the window or lose detail in your subject's face. With dynamic range boost, you can capture both the subtle skin tones of your subject and the detailed cloud formations outside the window in a single shot. This could literally save hours in lighting setup time on professional shoots. The 5-axis sensor shift image stabilization system deserves special attention. According to the leaks, it offers up to 8 stops of stabilization when paired with compatible lenses. But what does 8 stops really mean in practical terms? Let's say you're shooting in a dimly lit church during a wedding ceremony. So, without stabilization, you'd need a shutter speed of at least 1/250th of a second to avoid camera shake. With 8 stops of stabilization, you could theoretically shoot at 1/2 second handheld. This means capturing sharp images in situations where you'd normally need a tripod, which could be especially valuable when shooting in locations where tripods aren't allowed. Now, let's address what might be the most surprising aspect of this camera: the price. At between $2,800 and $3,000, Panasonic is making a bold statement. To put this in perspective, let's compare it to the current market. When you consider that competing cameras with similar resolution are priced well over $3,500, the value proposition becomes clear. But it's not just about the price. It's about what you get for your money. The ability to shoot 60-megapixel stills, 8K ProRes video, and have access to cutting-edge autofocus technology in one body, that's unprecedented at this price point. The camera is expected to hit markets in February 2025. And here's an insider tip based on current market trends. Given the global chip shortage and the expected demand, you might want to consider pre-ordering. I've seen several recent camera launches where pre-order customers waited months less than those who tried to buy at retail launch. Let's put this all together. 60 megapixels of resolution, revolutionary autofocus with predictive AI, professional-grade 8K video with internal ProRes recording, industry-leading stabilization, and a price that undercuts the competition. The Panasonic S1 Mark II isn't just another camera release. It could represent a paradigm shift in what we expect from hybrid cameras in 2025 and beyond. If you want to see how this camera compares to its closest competitors, check out my detailed comparison video of the Panasonic GH7 versus Sony Alpha 6700. You'll find it in the end screen. Spam. Don't forget to hit subscribe and that notification bell to stay updated on all the latest camera news and reviews. And hey, I'm really curious. What feature of the S1 Mark II excites you the most? Let me know in the comments below. Thanks for watching.